round two. Round two. I think. Yeah, round two. Alright. Alright. Let me share this out. Okay. Bet. Let me share this out. Hey, what's good? Actually, my green beanie's right here, Adam. But what's up? There we go. Hello, governor. God, what are you, British? The Queen's dead. Why do you still fake that accent? Oh man. My girlfriend said that shit when I showed her a Tom Holland video, and I was like, you know what? That is the most base shit I've heard in my life. That's amazing. I'm stealing that. I'm gonna Bob Kane that idea. It's mine now. Oh, what's up, guys? What's up? Any teasers for the next video you're driving? The streets is curious. Yeah. It's a Batman video. It was originally gonna be like a video on comic book video games, but I don't know. The Batman video is just way more fun. Cause I get to talk about comic books. I mean, I try to keep up with the promise of the intro, comics, TV, movies, video games, but comics are my bread and butter, literally my fucking bread and butter. And just what I know best. So I'm gonna do a whole video talking about Batman. And a weird Batman fallacy at that. But I'm not sure if you guys remember those old what are those the Batman the Greatest Stories Ever Told collections. I grew up reading those. Hey, what's up, Tevya? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I grew up reading those, and I came across a story in that just kind of fueled my next video. Because then it started shooting off other things regarding Batman in my head, and I was like, alright, fuck it. Video game, comic book video, you can scooch to the side for now. I have other things I want to talk about. Favorite Ultimate Spider-Man story? Mine is Venom. Oh, that's a good one. My favorite Ultimate Spider-Man story is probably Ultimate Knights, or is it Marvel Knights? It's something Knights, but it's the one with where oh, I feel weird kind of talking about. Do you care if I spoil this 15-year-old comic book? If you haven't read it by now, I mean it's, but yeah, Ultimate Knights is great. Daredevil basically gets together a Defenders type group of people comprised of Shang-Chi, Iron Fist, Doctor Fate, Doctor Strange Jr., because in the Ultimate Universe, Doctor Strange is a junior, which I find interesting. I don't know why they did that. That's one of those weird Ultimate Universe arbitrary choices, but you got Doctor Strange Jr. and you also had Spider-Man on that team. And Moon Knight, Ultimate Moon Knight, who was basically just Meme Knight. Moon Knight from memes, that's basically just what Ultimate Moon Knight is. Just all that nuance is just gone in that character, but yeah, there's a whole thing where Daredevil's alright, we're gonna get together, we're gonna kill the Kingpin. I love that story. Fucking great. Also has one of my favorite interactions in it, where Moon Knight dressed up as Ronin, breaks into Midtown High and tries to kill Spider-Man, and he's like, "Your agents have been watching me," and Pete's like, "I don't. You think I talk to spiders? What's wrong with you?" Yeah, no, great art. But I also really love Ultimate Six. But I love Ultimate Six for a lot of reasons that are like just tied up into the general like Ultimate Universe world building. I love it. What's up, Supreme? How you doing, buddy? So apparently someone is going to die in Amazing Spider-Man. I bet it's gonna be Paul. I did read Amazing Spider-Man 22. Yeah, 22. Paul's gonna be the one to bite it. I guarantee it. If it's not, I'll manscape the Spider-Man logo on my chest. I'll do it. I'll stream it too. If Paul doesn't die in Amazing Spider-Man, I'm gonna do that. What's good, Arcus? Hey, what's cooking? Not meth, just toast. Because I failed chemistry. I was bad at it. No, I didn't fail chemistry. I got I got a D in chemistry, so that's like a passing grade in the United States, which is evident of our education system. But physics was more my science. I'm sorry I'm eating toast. I don't know. I ate something weird earlier, so like I'm eating toast to make sure I don't like have my guts eat me from the inside out. But opinions on Ultimate Black Cat. She lost me when I learned about the whole white hair wig. Really, you didn't like? Okay, so I actually like the white haired wig. Like, I like the fact that it is a wig because it works better as a disguise that way. Although, like, the thing with Ultimate Black Cat is that they lean more into the oh, this is literally just a ripoff of Catwoman. Like, Bendis just goes like, all right, so she was already kind of a Catwoman ripoff. What do we just literally make her Catwoman? Like, down to the fact that like her father is. Oh, I mean, I know in the 616 universe, her dad's like the cat burglar or some shit, but like her dad's like a mob enforcer or something. Like it's literally just Carmine Falcone. It's I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool for that universe, but it is a weird thing where I just don't inherently like Black Cat as a character. Like, I don't hate her. I like her design. She's fun, but like the traditional Black Cat wouldn't really work in the Ultimate Universe because Peter Parker's so young. So like you'd have to like really change that character and like do something different with her. I guess if you want to like play up the flirty like side chick angle, which they kind of do a little bit, but like they make it so that she's like repulsed by him because he's a kid. There's also like a really fun panel in I think it's Ultimate Spider-Man 52 because Bendis does like wait all right. Ultimate Spider-Man 50 is when Black Cat first appears, I think. And Bendis does like this is when Bendis started shortening the arcs. So it might have been Ultimate Spider-Man 52. When Felicia like takes off Peter's mask and sees that he's a kid. But like I think Bagley did this intentionally. He gives Peter like pimples on his face and he draws him like intentionally unflattering. So he looks like you're seeing Peter through someone else's lens. like an adult woman's lens, and she's just vomits all over his dick. I thought that was funny. I thought that was great. But yeah, in general, I'm not a big Black Cat guy. I think she's like a fun, flirty kind of like foil, but like, not big on the character. But I'm also not big on Catwoman either. It's like a hot take, I guess. I'm not big on Catwoman. Opinion on the Ultimate Marvel Universe returning in Ultimate Invasion. I am nervous because I love the Ultimate Universe. I am nervous that it's coming back. But I mean, it's gonna be done under Jonathan Hickman, and Brian Hitch is gonna do the art. So there's incentive for it to be really good. I just hope they don't put writers I don't like in that universe. Don't Jeff Loeb it this time. You know? Put creators in that universe that will like flourish in there. Like, you know, like Warren Ellis, you know, worked for the Ultimate Universe. So did Mark Miller and Brian Michael Bendis. So yeah, if you get like people like that, you know, creative voices like that in the Ultimate Universe, I think it'll flourish. So yeah, you got Hickman. I think Al Ewing would be a great pick for the Ultimate Universe. Donny Cates ideally would, but like I think he's going through some personal stuff, so I totally get if he's not in a space to do big comics right now. But you know, there's also like God damn it, tip of my tongue. Kieran Gillen. Kieran Gillen, I think, would be perfect if you put him in the Ultimate Universe. So, you know, but like, just, I don't know, get voices like that, you know. For the love of God, please do not Jeff Loeb yourself. And by Jeff Loeb yourself in a modern context, I mean, don't put Kelly Sue DeConnick in this universe. Don't put Kelly Thompson or like Steve Orlando in this universe. You know, don't. Those are people who, like, I think work better in like the more traditional, you know, I guess more flighty, more fun kind of Marvel universe. But like, don't put them in the Ultimate Universe, please. Don't. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's all gonna come down to like stories that people have in their hearts, things they want to say with like the state of like politics, but like not in like a vapid kind of way, like an actual like having an intelligent take on politics. That's what I think worked with the early state of the Ultimate Universe, as opposed to what comics are trying to do now, where they're political, but like it's. Do you remember when Ben Shapiro would like walk on college campuses as like a 30-year-old man trolling 17-year-old like teenagers? Like, what's your political hot take? And like of course they said the most like vapid, like retarded shit. They're 17, like whatever. But yeah, like, that's kind of what I feel like politics in comics are right now. There's nothing interesting being said. They're just all the shit that you'd hear from like a high school sophomore or senior. And I don't want that to be the case in the Ultimate Universe. But I don't know. It could be cool. It could be good. It could be really good. But I am nervous. But that's just me like being overprotective of like the idealized version of the Ultimate Universe that I have in my heart from when I was a kid, and watching that whole line go up in flames and never fully recover after Ultimates 3. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Supreme Omega says, so my friend and I watched Batman and Robin for the first time. We loved it unironically. We thought it was, you know what? Okay, first of all, you are based, and you deserve a cookie. I don't have a cookie here, but I'll give you one of these. Fuck, that's good tea. I love green tea. But we thought it was the best Batman film, and it's actually faithful to the concept of the classic Bat family. Yeah, no, you're right. Like, I love Batman and Robin. Like, unironically, that is probably next to Batman 66 and Batman Forever. Like, as far as I'm concerned, the most off the page representation of Batman comics in live action. Or I guess mainline Batman comics. Like, The Batman is a very very good adaptation of, like, Earth 1, and, you know, all that stuff. This is a hot take. I really like the Ben Affleck version of Batman. I feel like that is the most authentic post Tower of Babel Bruce Wayne that we've gotten on screen. Like comic book Batman. Like, it's like Bruce Wayne's obsession drives him, and sometimes drives him to make the wrong choices. Like, I don't know. I really like Ben Affleck's Batman, but, like, as far as just, like, straight up, like, off the page Silver Age comics, like, yeah, Batman and Robin is like a pitch perfect adaptation of those comic books. Also, up until Robert Pattinson's Batman, he's the only Batman in live action who did not kill people. Well, next to Adam West Batman, but, like, only, like, film, like, silver screen Batman in live action to not kill people up until Pattinson. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy to me. But yeah, no, like, I love it. It's also a really good comedy. Like, unironically, that it's a good comedy film. So I like it. I mean, maybe it's not what people wanted at the time, but just as a film, it works. As a story, it works. I'll go this far. I think of the original 4 Batman movies, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin, Batman and Robin's the best of the 4, in that it is an actual story with characters who have motivations that make sense from scene to scene. I know that seems like a very low bar to have, but, like, go back and watch, like, Batman and Batman Returns. What is the plot of those movies? Batman Forever kind of has a plot, but, like, that's like an editing room disaster. But I don't know. I love Batman and Robin. It's a really good movie. Yeah, and George Clooney was a great Bronze Age Bruce Wayne. Also, when that Batman story that I read in, like, the greatest stories of Batman ever told, there is it's not an arc. It's like a one issue story. Who is the Batman really, or something like that? It's like issue 250, but just Bruce Wayne has, like, a personality. You know, like, he's not just like, Alfred, I feel the wind. It grazes between my thighs. I'm vengeance in the night. Like, he's talking to a bunch of kids, and, like all the kids are, like, giving off their spiel of, like, what they think Batman's like, and one kid talks about how, like, he knows a guy who got pinched by Batman and thrown in jail, and Bruce is like, all right, well, all the other stories that these kids are telling are, like, some weird bullshit that they've clearly made up, but, like, okay, this kid knows an actual criminal that I put in jail, so, like, maybe he's gonna have a good story. Like Bruce Wayne's kind of, he's interested and kind of, like, weird, not obsessed, but, like, he's just kind of like, what are these kids gonna think? Like, what do they think Batman looks like? I'm excited. And then, like, the kid tells the story of how this criminal got collared by Batman from the criminal's perspective, and is like, yeah, Batman's like 10 feet tall, and he has, like, you know, like giant bat wings, and he threw him off he threw Batman off the roof, and then he fell on like a clothesline, and he bounced up and he flew in the air and punched him in the face, and Bruce is just like, oh my god, that's you're making me sound so lame. Like, he kind of cares what people think about him. Like, it's so funny. Like, Batman used to be like a person. Like, Bruce Wayne used to have like personality. I mean, we're getting some of that back now, but just like, I don't know. I like Bruce Wayne and Batman and Robin. I think George Clooney did a really good job with that version of Bruce Wayne, which is just classic comic book Bruce Wayne. Arcus says there's Ultimate Black Cat. That's can be similar to the classic. It's Selena from Gotham, where she's a kid thief. I mean, that, yeah, you could do that. Bendis clearly chose not to do that, but I mean, he could have done that. Toby says a question: how do you feel about Ultimate Invasion? I was going to have the Ultimate Universe fight 616. Do you believe the maker will succeed and put Miles back in his home universe? Well, to your last point, I hope Miles goes back to his home universe. Because Miles Morales does not work in the 616 universe. I know, like, the Insomniac Spider-Man games, they're really fun having two Spider-Men run around like Batman and Robin. That's all nice, but like, it doesn't really work in the comics like that. It just doesn't work. It's just messy, and there's like all this like weird bullshit continuity surrounding Miles, and how about we just put Miles back in his own universe where he was the one and only Spider-Man? That way he actually feels like he matters again. It's a crazy thought. I think it's a crazy thought. I see so many people like disingenuously talk about like Miles Morales and the Spider-Man legacy and go like, oh, well, people don't complain about there being two Flashes, and people don't complain about there being multiple Green Arrows and Green Lanterns, and it's like, okay, well, first of all, Green Arrow is not a mantle, it's a title, it's an occupation, it's a position. It's like being a Jedi or a regional store manager at like Best Buy or some shit. Like, a lot of people do that. Sorry, my lights do a weird thing. But like, yeah, no, like, it's Green Lantern's not a mantle. There have always been multiple Green Lanterns. At least in the universe, there's always been multiple Green Lanterns. The Flash is also a different case. Like, Wally West became really popular because there was only one active Flash. I mean, Jay Garrick was also the Flash, but he was semi-retired. He was just kind of the old sage who was like, oh, no, you're the Flash. I'll run out there with you and have some fun, but like, no, you are the Flash. Have fun, young buck. Have fun. Have at it. I'm retired. Semi-retired, but I'm retired. So Wally really had he wasn't in Barry's shadow because Barry was dead. So Wally got to grow and become the Flash in his own right. What's another legacy character that had that? Nova had that. Like when Sam Alexander became Nova. Yeah, fucking Dick Ryder was dead. So like Sam had to like become his own Nova, and like, I mean, granted, that's also kind of a weird. There's a weird thing with the whole Nova Corps, but like, at that point, I think all the other Novas were dead, so it didn't really matter. But like, yeah, no, like, you can have multiple characters with the same mantle, but like, you either have to like make them radically different from one another, or have one like character die so another character picks up that mantle and keeps going with it and makes it something kind of new and fresh, but like for themselves as like the primary character in that legacy. Now it's their turn. Like I don't know. I think that's a simple train of thought, but everyone just kind of likes to like fucking throw a fit for no reason over it. What's your favorite Ultimate comic? Ultimates 2. Ultimates 2. I mean, that's just like one of my favorite comic books in general. Well, yeah. Ultimates 2. Question, with Tim Drake, Robin, well, that book getting canceled, do you believe Tim Drake will finally go back to Stephanie Brown? No. No. I don't think DC's going to admit defeat on that. They're going to have him stay with Bernard until somebody identity crisis Bernard. And then he'll get back with Stephanie, but that's like in the next 10 years. Didn't Batman and Robin kill the franchise? All right, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, he did. George Clooney's Batman did kill somebody. He killed the whole franchise in like the superhero genre for like a couple years. Supreme says, also, my friend and I also watched Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. My friend hated those films and thought those films have not aged well. I feel the hyper-realism isn't a good fit for Batman. Well, I mean, I agree in the sense that I think the hyper-realism doesn't fit Batman, but I still think those movies are really good just as films. Like, as far as like an adaptation goes, I mean, that's not your bag. That's not your bag. But like, I think just as movies, like, I watched The Dark Knight, like I think a year or two ago, and I was just like blown away. Like, holy shit, this is what a comic book movie can be. Oh man, oh man. How far have we fallen? Like, holy crap. Like, these used to be, like, stories. Now they're just content. That's, like, a whole thing I had with my buddy, Greg. And Greg's been on the channel. I've done videos with Greg before. But, like, yeah, no, just, we were talking about, like, what the MCU's kind of turned into, and it's just, like, these aren't stories anymore. This is just content. And, like, that's kind of sad that that's what these stories have devolved into. Sucks, but it'd be like that, you know. I like touch my phone, but like I'm super nervous to like. I don't want to touch my bread after I've touched my phone, which has been like everywhere. I should clean my phone off, but like I'm fucking lazy. I don't feel like doing that shit right now. And I don't want to get alcohol in my tea. Well, not this alcohol. What am I, just a minx? Jesus. Poor taste? Probably. I don't know. I could probably outdrink her, though. Well, I don't know. No. She's Irish. She would destroy me. Alright. Aren't Ben Shapiro the one who played MODOK in the new Ant-Man movie? I mean, did he? I didn't see the new Ant-Man movie. But, like, if he's like an insufferable twerp, then I guess, yeah. Dude, it's so cringe. I used to love watching Ben Shapiro when I was in high school. Then I got older, and I was like, oh, this This dude is cringe. Oh shit. That's like a lot of like political and like philosophical YouTube. Yeah. Part of like going on like the whole philosophy journey is because I have a degree in philosophy, but like part of that whole journey is like getting like really kind of into people like commentators or philosophers or you know personalities, and then just kind of watching them intellectually implode, and you just kind of have to back away slowly, and you're like, oh, never mind. Tevi says, what's your favorite MC2 universe comic book? Because mine is Mayday Parker. Oh, yeah, same. I don't really care about the MC2 universe outside of Mayday Parker. Like that's all. That's like all I care about in that world. I'm down with Mayday. I like Mayday a lot. Arca says the Virgin Matt Reeves has only Catwoman in a sock in her head. The Chad Schumacher has every man and woman to be sexy, and Batgirl costume which has nipples. Based. Joel Schumacher was like the king of sex appeal. Like I watched Batman Forever for the first time in like I want to say like 10 years with my girlfriend and her sister, and we were watching we were watching Batman Forever, and just like that movie is that is horny 13-year-old boy bait. That's what that is. Wouldn't have guessed a gay man directed that movie. Just would not have guessed that at all. Or at the very least, I wouldn't have guessed an out of the closet, secure in their own sexuality gay man directed that movie. This is why I love the current Flash book, because it has Wally West and his family front and center. Yeah, I'm so happy with that. I'm sad that it's ending, but I mean, Jeremy Adams had a great run, no pun intended. But like, Jeremy Adams had a great run, and that man is just invited to the cookout. Like, the unequivocally based. Like, hold on, do I have it in here? I read fuck, where is it? There we go. I read Flash 795. Unequivocally based. Jeremy Adams, you are unequivocally based. You are invited to the cookout. Just oh man. The whole run just comes full circle. It's also just like, hey, yeah, Heroes in Crisis. What are you talking about? That didn't happen. What do you mean, Heroes in Crisis? Yeah, just oh man, this book is so good. And like, even outside of like just the retconning of Heroes in Crisis, just like in general, the story is great. Like this whole thing with the Fraction is fantastic. This art style for the Flash they have, it's like very kind of cartoony and like heightened. I've seen some people say that they don't like it and that it's like too simple, but like I think that's just because of like the nature of like the story being told. But I'm actually kind of cool with the art in this book. It's kind of like it's that thing that I have with Dave LaFuente, or I guess David LaFuente, because they go by David now. But I think David LaFuente is really good but I think they get put on the wrong books a lot of the times, or not even the wrong books. They just get put on the wrong arcs. I think the one time where their art really fit the story was Ultimate Comics Ultimate Spider-Man, because that's when Bendis just like put the whole foot on the gas and just steered directly into like I'm not fan fictionville, but like teen drama kind of ville. And like I thought Dave LaFuente's art worked very well there. Like it was very youthful. Everyone in the cast actually looked like teenagers. I just, of course, who would have thunk to do that? But yeah, outside of that, like Dave LaFuente's, I always feel like they just put on the wrong books, or they're put on the right books at the wrong time. This feels like that situation with who's this artist here? Not Roger Cruz, probably like George Kimbalds. I think it's George Kimbalds. Yeah, it's just this would have fit for like one of the earlier Flash issues, but it just doesn't fit here, I don't think. But yeah, I'm loving the Flash book. I really hope Cy Spurrier doesn't Zeb Wells Spider-Man the Flash book. I really hope that's not coming. I would be really heartbroken if that is what happened. But yeah, I mean, look, Wally fans suffered for like what, 10 years straight. We survived. You know, we survived from 2011 to 2021. I think we can endure more torture, just a little bit more torture. Arcus says George Clooney didn't kill the franchise. It was greedy producers not letting Schumacher do what he wanted to do story-wise. Batman and Robin could have been more serious if it wasn't for those goofs trying to sell toys. So, I heard somewhere that Joel Schumacher originally wanted to reboot Batman, which I honestly think would have worked way better. And it's kind of funny, like, watching the Matt Reeves Batman movie, because I mean, if you've watched any of Joel Schumacher's other films, like outside of his Batman movies, the Batman is like literally, that's a Joel Schumacher movie. Like, it's shot like a Joel Schumacher movie. It looks and feels like a Joel Schumacher movie. Like, the characters talk like they're in a Joel Schumacher. Like, that's basically the movie Joel Schumacher wanted to make in like 1994. But Warner Brothers was like, no, we got sued by McDonald's. You can't make a serious Batman movie. Make it a toy commercial. And I thought he made 2 really good toy commercials. I mean, I have all the toys from, well, I guess I had all the toys before I got rid of them when I moved. But like, yeah, like, I had all those toys. In fact, wait, hold on a second. Do I still have the Robin here? I have a Robin somewhere. It's somewhere in here. Wait, where? Is it over here? Where are you, Robin? Robin! No, you're not here. Robin! No, that's... No. Where's my Robin at? Hey! Alright. Oh, come on. Where's... What? Oh, dude, that sucks. I can't find my Robin. Oh, well. I'll post a picture of him on, like stream later. Not stream, but I'll post it, like, on the channel later. But, like, yeah, no, I have, like, I had like all the toys from that Batman and Robin line, and I had like all the Robins. Like I loved, like, part of the reason why I love Robin so much now as like an adult is, well, adult. But part of the reason I love Robin so much now is because I loved Robin as a kid watching those movies. I don't know. Maybe it's because he was like rebellious, and I was like, oh yeah, Robin's so cool, you know. He also did like backflips and did cool acrobatic tricks. Dude, I loved Robin as a kid. I thought he was great. I wanted to be Robin when I was younger. It's probably why I cosplay Robin a lot now. Question. This is from Tevia. How do you feel about the Super Sons returning in Jeremy Adams' Flash book? That'd be fascinating. I'd be interested to see how that happens. I don't know how you do that. Like, I don't know how you do that. Because DC's like really avoiding seppuku right now. Not wanting to have John Kent get aged down. So yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it'd be cool to see, but like I doubt it will happen. Scream says, on DeMatteis and Buscema's Spectacular Spider-Man, thoughts on Dr. Kafka? I feel she was a good supporting character. I hate that Slott killed her and then Spider-Man Beyond turned her into another Goblin villain. I am like not really of any sort of opinion because I didn't read all of it because it's unfortunately not collected very well. So all I really know of Dr. Kafka is like the few books in Amazing Spider-Man where like writers remembered who she was. And The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I also don't hate. So, I don't know. I'm glad all those characters are back from the dead. Oh, and Flash? Yeah, me too. That's like the whole thing of killing characters. I feel like if you're gonna kill a character, there has to be like a real reason to get rid of them. Just killing them for shock value is just kind of like lame. Don't do that. Like, I don't know. I hope Cyspher doesn't destroy Flash and with Zeb Wells' horrible run on Spider-Man. Well, I don't blame Zeb Wells for Spider-Man right now. Like, that's not Zeb Wells' fault. That's like Marvel editorial's fault. Now granted, my buddy Troy, over at Previous World, said something very interesting yesterday, about how he thinks that Zeb Wells, in not just pulling from the material that he wrote during that revolving door of writers during Brand New Day, Zeb Wells isn't just going back to like his old stuff from like, what was it, like 15 years ago. He's also potentially, maybe, possibly, cribbing off of some of J. Michael Straczynski's original concepts for how he would have done One More Day. So I'm interested to see how that turns out. But I'm just morbidly curious about it. Like, I'm not actually interested to see it. I'm just fascinated to see how it turns out. That's it. Supreme says, this may sound depressing, but Tim, Steph, and Cass peaked in the 90s and early 2000s. The trio never got to grow up like Dick and Babs. Yeah, but that whole generation didn't get to grow up. Not really. Like, there's a point in time where I feel like they were on the cusp of aging, but like it was that whole thing where, what is it, like post I think post Final Crisis, that generation really kind of, not like the Young Justice generation, which I still lump in like Stephanie and Cassandra into that Young Justice generation because they're part of that era, even if they weren't on the team necessarily. But I feel like that Young Justice generation, they hit the beach, they hit the shores of adulthood, but they never quite got to venture into the waters like the Teen Titans generation did through like the like 80s into the 90s, you know. We never got to see that generation like properly grow in the same way that, like, you know, the Dicks and the Dicks, but like the Dick Graysons and like the Donna Troys and the Garths and, you know, all those characters, we got to watch them grow. And now the Young Justice generation's in a weird spot where they're like kind of competing for like space with the Damian Wayne generation. Although Damian Wayne's in a kind of a weird spot. Like Damian predates characters like John Kent, but like he's like still part of that generation. It's weird. But like, yeah, I consider Damian to be part of that, like, he's the same generation as like John Kent and oh, god damn it, like a lot of the newer kid sidekicks that like got ushered in through the New 52 and Rebirth, like Emiko Queen and the redundant Kid Flash. So like, I don't know, just that whole generation I feel is like competing with the Young Justice generation, and now they're kind of like, they're also kid. It's that did drive me insane reading this. Like, Bart is being kind of written as like the same age as Ace, and it's, I don't like it. It just feels weird to me. Like he should be Ace's senior, but he's not, just because that generation didn't really get a chance to. I hate it. I hate it. It's DC's legacy is just broken at this point. it's broken. I just try not to think about it. Arcus says, I have read the new Superman 2, and it was okay. Could have had a lot more tension if they left out S Family. Also, less emotional Superman and more strategic Superman, please. I actually didn't read Superman 2. I know it came out this week. I just didn't. I didn't buy it. It's in my box. I no. If you like a more strategic Superman, I would really recommend. Philip Kennedy Johnson's run on Superman. That's a version of the character that, like, he gets down, he gets out, but like, he keeps that like eternal optimism, and he always has a plan. Even when his plan fails, he's always like, all right, old plan failed, but let's adapt. All right, I gotta make a new plan to like, you know, make sure that like everyone gets to safety. That's what I really like about the Philip Johnson Action Comics run. It's really good. I mean, I like the Joshua Williamson run, or I like the first issue. It felt very much like Superman the animated series, but like when it's good. Because I'm not the biggest fan of Superman the animated series. Just Tevye says it involves time travel with Jonathan Kent and Damian Wayne Robin teaming up with Wally's kids. What the fuck? What? Is that gonna be a thing? Hold on, what? Holy crap. Are you serious? Oh, that's okay. I saw that picture. I didn't know what it was though. Oh, dude. Okay, I am down. I am absolutely down. Yes, please. Adam's time to make a Flash Super Sons crossovers running out. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, when is this coming out? Like, I mean, I see the art there, but like that's could just be good art. I don't know, but that's dope. I hope it happens. I really hope it happens. Unfortunately, Dr. Cox is dead again. It's comic. She'll be back. Supreme says, on Robbins, a large reason why Tim was allowed to shine in the 90s is that Jason was still dead. Do you agree? Yes, I 100% agree. But that's where legacy works, I think. When you bring in a new character to pick up the pieces that were kind of like left on the floor from like the old regime or the old mantle holder. This like wanting to have your cake and eat it too crap just it don't work. It don't work. It really don't work. Like that's why I don't think Ace works as Kid Flash. I don't think Ace works as Kid Flash. I think Ace would have worked better if like in an ideal world, Ace is Kid Flash to Bart's Flash. Then again, that implies you have like a decent run on Bart as the Flash and keep the Flash legacy going and not just defaulting to Wally again. I love Wally, but like, you know, just New 52 fucked up a lot. It just And there's stuff I like in the New 52. Like, I'm a New 52 defender, but like, oh man, that universe is broken. Legacy is just not a thing anymore. Marvel editorial just seems to me that they hate Peter Parker and feels like they want to destroy Spider-Man. No, I don't think they want to destroy Spider-Man. They just don't know what to do with Spider-Man. Mayday Parker, Spider-Girl, yeah. Dialogue fix. Madeline Moonlight. Do you believe in ghosts? Superman. You should ask Deadman next time. Is that from Superman issue 2? I haven't read it yet. Again, I like the first issue, but I gotta check it out. I know they introduced a new character in Superman issue 2. I personally like Superman 2 because it's a horror movie done right. Oh, really? Alright, well, now you've pilled me on it. Now I have to read it. Those are like two flavors that I think go together really well. Superman and horror. I'm down. You convinced me, I almost called you Beanie. I'm Beanie. No. You convinced me, Tevya. I'll check it out. Wow. I just like spoke in the third person there for a second. I'm going crazy. Going. Oh, actually, that reminds me. Is anyone here gonna check out the Joshua Williamson run on Green Arrow? I'm excited for that. Of all the like the new DC books coming out, like that's the one that I think I'm the most excited for. That's not the Chip Zdarsky Batman book or the Action Comics run. Yeah, I'm super excited for Joshua Williamson doing Green Arrow. I know people are kind of complaining that it's not gonna be like an ongoing; it's just gonna be a miniseries. But like, dude, I don't know. Like, miniseries have a way of turning into ongoings. Look at Swamp Thing by Ram V. Like that started off as like a 8-issue miniseries, and it's still going. Like what 20-something issues later. Like yeah, it's I don't know, man. Just if you support the damn thing, then people will, like, the people at the top will continue to print it. I just kind of worry about Joshua Williamson. I think he's a great writer when it comes to, like, the Batmans and Supermans. I can honestly see Joshua Williamson writing a Wonder Woman. I can see Joshua Williamson writing Wonder Woman, but the Green Arrow I think requires a little bit of like I don't know. There's like an edge that I haven't quite seen from Williamson yet. I'm so open to being surprised, but I don't know if Williamson is going to deliver what I want out of Green Arrow. For me, I still think the perfect contemporary Green Arrow run is still Rebirth by Otto Schmidt and Benjamin Percy and Juan Fuera. Or Fiera? Like the Guy Fieri is? I don't know. I'm bad with names. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm excited to see that. I hope it's good. Scream says, ironically, Marvel has treated their teen heroes better than DC. Sure, some of them are sidelined, but that's better than what Tim, Steph, and Cass and the Young Justice kids went through under the Dio. Yeah, but the Dio also has a whole thing where, like, he maybe didn't like legacy characters because he made the older characters look old. I don't know. Then again, I don't know how much of that's true anymore because apparently Dan DiDio this entire time has been taking bullets for other people. Which, hey, I respect that. Like, I think when you're, like, the HNIC, that's part of your job description, and he's taking bullets for people that had really crappy ideas. Um, so I mean, good on him, but like I don't know what to blame him for now. Like I don't know. But yeah, that whole era just was not kind to those kids, or that whole generation of heroes. Um, it is kind of weird that Marvel is making a push for Legacy because that's not really Marvel's thing. Teen superheroes and sidekicks, like fuck. I think it's in Ed Brubaker's run on Captain America. Um, there's a bit that perfectly just summarizes the difference between the Marvel universe and the DC universe, in respect to, sidekicks and all that. Um, Bucky Barnes. Bucky Barnes was the OG sidekick of the Marvel universe. Every kid wanted to be Bucky, and then Bucky gets his arm cut off and blown up, allegedly, supposedly, over the Atlantic Ocean, and all of a sudden, nobody wanted to be a sidekick anymore. Kids didn't want to be superheroes anymore when they grew up, because of like the death of Bucky Barnes, or I guess alleged death, supposed death of Bucky Barnes. And that's why like teen superheroes aren't that prevalent in the Marvel universe, outside of like Spider-Man and shit like that. But even then, like, that's why there's no sidekicks really. Like the X-Men are there, but like that's kind of like a paramilitary thing. Spider-Man is a teen superhero, but that's like an anti-authoritarian, not anti-authoritarian, but like anti-authority, like kid latching out at the world kind of a thing. It's not really like a Batman and Robin kind of thing. Like there's a whole thing in the Marvel universe where just kids aren't superheroes, like for a reason. And it further cements that concept of the Marvel universe being the world outside your window. So just like on a base concept level, I don't really like all of these like teen sidekicks dropping in the Marvel universe. It feels like someone just isn't really getting what the Marvel universe is all about. But I'm just some dude. I read them. I don't work in these like editing offices or whatever. So fuck do I know? But I don't like it. I don't like it. Conceptually, I'm not into it. Made 2 videos about it. Oh, nice. Arcus says, Beanie bro, I'm sorry, but Philip Johnson Superman just hopes his way through everything and that's it. Nothing clever about him. It's optimistic, yes, but it's just late 2008 Superman again. I mean, I'm cool with that. I like late 2008 Superman. He just like, I don't even want to say brute forces his way through problems. He brute optimist his way through things. Like he's just such an optimist to the point where just bleh, optimism. Just crash through the wall like Kool-Aid Man. Like, oh yeah, good vibes. I like it. I'm with it. Also, it's a Superman that's like also has like a personality again. He's not just generic. I smile and I do the super thing. Like, no, he's a Superman that has like a. There's like a arrogant kind of quirkiness to him. Like an arrogant kind of edge to like, not edge, but like a tinge, an arrogant tinge to his attitude. And I like that whenever I see Superman. I think Superman should be a tinge arrogant. Swamp Thing just finished. Yeah, you're right, but it did go on longer than it was intended to. Um, like it says, it's me problem. But I see Superman a bit differently since reading the original 1938 Action Comics. While for everyone else, it's 70s Superman. The movie is the true version, but not for me. I mean, I agree with you. I'm in that same boat. I I prefer more like tactile Superman, like a Superman who's willing to get his hands dirty, um, and like really fight for something. I feel like that's kind of been lost in recent years. Um, but like, yeah, I really wish we go back to like a Superman that like this isn't just like in comics, but like this isn't like pop culture in general. I wish we'd go back to a Superman that's like there's like a righteous anger to him. You know, like he's willing to fight for a story and fight for people in the stories that he's writing. Um, and like truth and justice, they're not just pretty little things that he says while standing with like the sun rising behind him like a halo. Like he actually he gets in there, he does the thing, and he fights for what he believes in. Like I really wish we go back to that Superman in pop culture. I hope James Gunn's Superman is that, and I hope the alleged, like, for the millionth time, rumored Superman game that may or may not exist from Warner Brothers Montreal, brings that back to the character. Um, uh, Tevye says, question, do you believe the main Amazing Spider-Man book should be canceled? No. I mean, like, in a joking manner, yes, but, like, no. No, keep Spider-Man around. We gotta let him suffer for a little longer. Supreme says, I'm surprised Jason's death didn't stop the rise of new teen sidekicks in the late 80s through the 90s. I wonder if Tim Drake becoming Robin re-encouraged sidekicks in the DCU. I mean, like, probably, but there's also, like... There were also a lot of other teen sidekicks in the DC universe at the time as well. Like, Jason dying... Okay, Jason Todd as a character is just like a drop in the bucket. There's also Roy Harper, who got addicted to heroin. So, like... Granted, Green Arrow was going through some changes back then. I think Ollie was, like, homeless when that happened. Not homeless, but, like, he was poor when that happened. There's also the whole thing with, all the stuff going down with, like, the Teen Titans. With, like, Judas, like, Judas Contract doesn't happen until, like, a little later, but, like, you know, like, all the stuff that happened with, like, the Teen Titans, like, I don't know, a lot happened with the teen heroes, that, like, if we're judging superheroes by, like, real world, like, standards of decency, you'd probably go, like, maybe you should not have, like, prepubescent, kids running around in colorful costumes fighting crime with you fucking vigilante scum. Like, but I just it's a fantasy world. Yeah. The fantasy is gonna fantasy. Arca says being Russian and all Winter Soldier as a concept cracks me up. Let's give this random guy our best technologies and train him to this random guy because reasons. Also, the name is really silly. Yeah, I mean, I feel that. I'm kind of curious. What do you think about the Red Guardian? Or I guess like the Red Guardian like mantle then. Is it the Red Guardian? Yeah, it's the Red Guardian. I mean, I thought it was kind of interesting from like an American perspective, but like that's also just American perspective. It's kind of I mean, like in the Marvel universe, they kind of did the same thing with Red Guardian with Captain America, where they just said like, Captain America's not dead. He's right here. They put someone else in the costume and said, hey, he's over there. Apparently, like Russia does that with like every Red Guardian. Like every Red Guardian that you see is a completely different person. They just put a new guy in the suit after the previous guy dies. I think that's really kind of fun and interesting. Like you keep the propaganda machine going, in the same way that like Marvel did, or I guess America in the Marvel universe did that with Captain America, until it didn't work, until like one of them went like I think wow, god damn it, what's the name of that? There's a second Captain America that goes crazy. He's like a white supremacist apparently. But like the American Empire was like, no, we gotta, no. Steve Rogers is still. Look at him. He's right there. He's right there. Yay. He just goes on top secret missions. Dude, the whole like government sponsored superhero thing is like so fascinating to me. I think it's really kind of fun. Also, I thought the whole like Winter Soldier name was I thought that whole thing was more dealing with like the Vietnam concept of Winter Soldier and Summer Soldiers. Or at least that's what I thought Brubaker said about it. Because like in the Vietnam War, like Winter Soldiers were people who would just kill with no remorse. It's like, all right, see, so there's an orphanage like about 10 clicks that way. Yeah, you gotta burn it down because we have to build a base there. So just burn those kids and then just bury them in shallow graves. You'd have a Winter Soldier do that, or like a crew of Winter Soldiers go do that. Like a Winter Soldier, someone who just like follows orders blindly, no matter like how horrible the thing they have to do. So I thought that's what the name was like, kind of cribbing from. Although in the MCU, I don't know what the fucking Winter Soldier means. Like it's because apparently the Russo brothers were like, and it has nothing to do with Russia, despite the fact that he still has the star on his arm, and like they didn't go into the whole concept of Winter Soldiers and Summer Soldiers. They just called them the Winter. I don't know. I also feel like that was just them trying to not like piss off anyone like in like the Russian government, and so the Marvel movie gets banned in like one of the largest regions of the world. But yeah, I don't know. It's funny and weird. Supreme says thoughts on Judd Winnick as writer. I like Exiles. Yeah, he also wrote Graduation Day and some really bad Batman comics. Judd Winnick is hit or miss for me. I bet he never misses, huh? You got a red hood. I bet he doesn't kiss you. But sorry, I can't help being cringe. Just comes naturally. But yeah, Judd Winnick is hit or miss for me. I think he's better when you give him like a second crack at things. Like the Under the Red Hood movie is a million times better than the comic, but that's because I feel like Judd Winnick got he got to like do a like another draft of Under the Red Hood. I think Red Hood Lost Days is really good. Like obscenely good. Or maybe I think that just because immediately after it we got like Red Hood and the Outlaws and like that whole New 52 era of Red Hood, but like yeah, no, I think Judd Winnick is hit or miss. But like when he hits, he hits. You know, like I really like Judd Winnick's run on Green Arrow. There are some things here and there that I don't like. Like I don't like how he made it so that Ollie cheated on Dinah. Like I didn't like that. Not that I don't see Ollie cheating on Dinah, but like Ollie cheating on Dinah in that era of Ollie's life. I don't see that. That's what I didn't like. That's what I kind of like fundamentally disagreed with. But outside of that, no, I like Judd Winnick as a writer. I feel like if DC ever grew a pair and like had Green Arrow solo movies, and you had Judd Winnick write them, I think he'd probably improve on some of his material from that era when he wrote Green Arrow. Like I think, wait, no, not Archer's Quest. Archer's Quest is Brad Meltzer. But yeah, like some of the stuff that Judd Winnick did for Green Arrow in that whole like 2000s era, I think if you let him do a Green Arrow animated movie, he'd probably improve on some of the stuff he wrote. How would I fix the Amazing Spider-Man book? Shit, man. I don't know. Stop worrying on trying to fix Spider-Man and just tell stories with the character. That's how I'd fix Spider-Man. But no, I don't know. Everyone here loves Red Guardian. He's like blackface played straight but Russian. That's so awful. Oh man. It's like it's every stereotypical thing you can imagine. And when I watched Black Widow, I was laughing all the way through it. He was great. I'm glad you thought it was funny. I know Red Guardian in the movie is a little different from Red Guardian in the comics. Although there aren't that many comics that feature Red Guardian. Or there aren't that many that I've read that feature Red Guardian prominently. I know he's in, or I guess one of the Red Guardians is in, what is it? The Black Widow run by, I want to say Brian K. Vaughan? I think, it's either Brian K. Vaughan or the other guy who's literally just Brian K. Vaughan. Not Ed Brubaker. Who's Greg Rucka, who's just Brian K. Vaughan 2.0. They would hate that if I said that to their faces. I'd probably get punched in the face. I'd take it though. I could take a punch in the face. You fucking kidding me? Dude, no. But yeah, no, I think Greg Rucka in his Black Widow run features Red Guardian pretty prominently. Or I guess the A version of Red Guardian pretty prominently. But I haven't read that stuff in a while. I have to go back to it. What do you think about Black Widow? Just as a character in general. I think she's kind of cool, but like it's also one of those things where it's like this is kind of like jingoistic and like ignorant, but like I'm still with it. Like I don't know. Granted, I'm weird. I am all for like look, the more fucked up and like stereotypical your character, the better. Because I think that's more interesting. Like that's why I love characters like that's why I fucking love Luke Cage. Just the classic Luke Cage though, not like the modern like we have to have Luke Cage talk like this and say fuddy duddy and he wears the suits. It's like now let Luke Cage just be Black Dynamite but bulletproof. I don't know. I think that's more fun. Hey, what's good, Remix? How you doing? Long time no see. Oh, good night, Tevya. Supreme says, on Jim Starlin's Batman, it's a shame Death in the Family is his most well-known Batman story, because I feel like it's his weakest Batman work. Because I feel like The Cult and 10 Nights of the Beast are better in my view. I am such a dumbass, too. Oh, man. I got to meet Jim Starlin at Baltimore Comic Con last year, and I brought him Batman 424, or is it 425? The issue where Jason kicks that Miami Vice stereotype like drug lord out of the window. I got him to sign that. I should have gotten him to sign The Cult. I wasn't thinking. No, I was thinking. I don't want to fucking carry like 800 trades to this convention. You know, I could have just brought them in a long or like a short box. I don't know. I wasn't thinking. Clearly. Because I had a whole mishap where I ended up bringing a bunch of like Daredevil comics to Anna Cinti, which she didn't write, and I still feel shame for that. But yeah, no, I really like Jim Starlin's run on Batman. I wish it was better collected. And by that I mean I wish DC would just put back in print the Batman Dark Detective. What is it? Not Dark Detective. It's Caped Crusader. Just put the Caped Crusader trades back in print, and I think that'll be good. But yeah, I like Jim Starlin's run on Batman. I wonder, is the Cult collected in any of those? I would imagine it should be. Granted, the only one that I have is the Volume 1, or no, maybe it's Volume 2, of Caped Crusader, because it's the crop of stories that take place just before Death in the Family. Because Death in the Family isn't collected in that trade, because DC is actually smart when they recollect some of these trades sometimes. So they just kind of skip over Death in the Family and then jump right to the story that happens like after it. But yeah, I like Jim Starlin's Batman a lot. I think it's really cool. It is definitely the beginning of like modern Batman though, where Batman's like ultra broody and like, I'm Batman. Although there's precedent for that at that time period, like Jason Todd like literally just died, and Barbara Gordon was crippled for life by the Joker in an attempt to drive Commissioner Gordon, his best friend, insane. So I'm kind of cool with the fact that Batman's like kind of going off the deep end. Also throughout the 90s, when I kind of like take a step back and look at the DC universe as a whole. Sorry about that. But when I take a look at the DC universe as a whole, God, I hate spring so much. Jesus Christ! Please make it winter again. I'm gonna say this one more time. All right. Okay. So taking a step back and looking at the history of Batman as a whole, right? I don't mind Batman through the late 80s into the early to mid 90s being kind of a Debbie Downer. Because, alright, look at it like this. Killing Joke happens, then death in the family, then death of Superman. Right? Like death of Superman happens. Like that's like Batman's best friend. He dies. Also, Batman's iteration of the Justice League falls apart in that era as well. So like, I don't know. There's a lot of incentive for Bruce Wayne to not be himself. Also, Nightfall happens. Like he gets his back broken, and then he comes back, and then like immediately after that, there's like an earthquake that shatters Gotham City's infrastructure. Like, there is proper incentive for Batman to be kind of like a Debbie Downer asshole for a while, and that's kind of why I like Grant Morrison's take on Batman when you get to like the mid 2000s, where Bruce is like, yeah, that whole period that was a midlife crisis. Sorry about that. It happens to the best of us. Yeah, I love that whole era. But I don't know how I got on this topic. I think I was talking about Jim Starlin Batman that I just kind of got like, I rabbit holed. Talking about Batman does that to you though. Remix says, are you familiar with Alan Moore's unused Twilight of the Superheroes pitch? Basically Alan Moore's Kingdom Come. I am like largely kind of unfamiliar with Alan Moore's Twilight of the Superheroes. I mean, if it was going to be anything like some of the stuff that Alan Moore wrote for DC around that time period, though, it probably would have been cool at the time and didn't age well. I think a lot of Alan Moore's DC stuff is, like, fun, but, like, it's so ingrained in like pre-crisis DC continuity that like I'm not sure how like modern DC fans would like really vibe with it. Like I have a whole thing where I understand the reverence for stories like not Whatever Happened to the Man Tomorrow. What's the one? For the Man Who Was Everything. For the Man Who Was Everything, great story. I personally don't really vibe with it because I don't like pre-crisis Superman that much. So I don't know. That's just kind of my hot take there. I mean, it's a wonderful story. I just don't like it. Also, Killing Joke is great for a pre-crisis Batman. Although, like, Batman's a weird case. Like, his continuity doesn't really reboot. I mean, it does reboot, but it doesn't reboot. It doesn't make sense. But thinking about DC continuity is a that's a losing battle. That's just a losing battle. But like, I don't know. I think Alan Moore his work, or his DC work, fits right at home with like pre-crisis DC in a way I don't think it works with the modern age. Supreme says on Catwoman. Honestly, I like Selena on her own without Bruce. Being the defender of East End and hanging out with Holly Robinson. Oh, that's cool. I mean, I didn't really read the Ed Brubaker run like that. Also, I thought Holly died. If I wasn't mistaken. Wasn't she killed? I thought Holly Robinson was killed. When did she get unkilled? Like a reboot or something? I don't know. Arcus says, I like Black Widow and I don't mind stereotypes at all. It can be fun. It's the writer's vision. I respect the effort. It's just can be unintentionally funny when they try to be too serious about it. Yeah, I definitely feel that. Yeah. Preaching to the choir with that one. I have that whenever I read like black characters in anything. Like, actually, that was like almost another video that I did recently, but I just kind of decided against it. But yeah, it's. I'm not angry with like writers who do the whole like, and I'm gonna put the black man in here. He's gonna say the black thing to this white man over there, and it's, hey brother, are you the chump change cracker who's doing the it's like, oh my god, this what is, oh Jesus, fuck, what is it? It's like Jackson Hyde in Batman Fortress. His whole thing is just going up to Batman, going like, "What you doing here, white boy?" I know some people get like painfully offended by that. I just think it's funny. I cringe so hard. It's just it's funny to me though. It's oh man, like it's embarrassing, but like I don't know. Am I a bad person for liking it? Like I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. Or like the Miles Morales shit where like it was like, what if Miles Morales was Thor, and because Thor is black, that means Asgard is the ghetto. It's just, yeah. I definitely feel you on like a lot of the Russian stereotype shit, because I see that with black characters a lot, and it's just, bro, you just gotta shake your head and go like, goddamn, someone wrote that, someone got paid to write that, and an editor got paid to let that. All right, it's just funny. I love it. I wish we would embrace weird shit like that again too. just fully embrace it. Just like Ice Cube said in 21 Jump Street, embrace your stereotype. Supreme said, also I feel Emerald Twilight is another reason why 90s Batman can be broody. Bruce did not react well to Hal becoming a villain. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like the 90s was not kind to Batman. So by the time you get to like the early 2000s, Batman's kind of an asshole to everyone, but like I get it. This is a guy whose whole thing is, I have to control everything, and when everything kind of like goes awry and he feels like he has no control, he like freaks out and becomes like the worst version of himself. Yeah, I buy that. Josiah says, who would you say is the most overrated writer in comics? Ooh. Most overrated writer in comics. Damn. That's a hard one. Like, contemporary comics or just like in general across history? I don't know, man. Um, I think there are a lot of writers who like are worth their salt, but like I don't know. It's hard to say because that's like such a subjective thing. You know, I think what constitutes a writer being overrated is you just not being there for them being big and like experiencing like the hype in real time, and then you just kind of jump in after everyone else has already like experienced it and like experienced the highs. Um, I guess like you can say Tom King. Tom King's kind of overrated. Um, I mean, I say that as someone who likes Tom King, but like for a lot of people who do read Tom King and say they don't get the hype, I get it. He definitely gets very overhyped. He gets hyped up real hard. So when like stories naturally don't live up to the hype, I do get people kind of getting disappointed in that. Um, uh, Let me think. This is tough. I mean, I guess you could just say like the greats, like Alan Moore is also kind of overrated. Um, but again, that's also just a thing of like, if you didn't grow up reading Alan Moore comics and you're like jumping into it as an adult, you're probably gonna be like, "What is this crap? This is," and I can't, I can't defend it because like it's your read. Damn, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know who I'd say the most overrated writer in comics is. Um, yeah, I like all of them and none of them. Like, I don't know. You could also say the same with Grant Morrison. Like, I don't know. It's all like it's subjective. It hinges on like who you read or didn't read growing up. Um, Arcus says, idea. Magnetic Rose from the Memories anime, but it's about Silver Banshee and Superman. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, okay. Um, I'd be down for that. Silver Banshee hasn't really done anything the past like couple years, so I'd be with it. Um, God, I gotta watch Memories again. That I remember loving that movie. When I saw it like in, uh, no, yeah, I saw, yeah, that's the movie I saw like in like college. I remember you brought it up, like you bring it up a couple times, or you've brought it up a couple times, and like it just didn't click with me, and I was like, oh, wait, no, I did see that movie. Really good. The animation's spectacular. That's one of those movies where like every frame is like a wallpaper. Um, Supreme Omega says on Wonder Woman, uh, when it comes to the rest of the Trinity, she always gets the short end of the stick. She has good stories and runs, but never the popularity of Byrne's Man of Steel or Nightfall. Um, I think that largely hinges on the fact that Wonder Woman does not have as many adaptations in the pop culture zeitgeist, and therefore people don't have a frame of reference for what Wonder Woman's iconic stories are. I think the big thing that people know her from in like a modern context is the George Perez run, because that largely influenced a lot of Wonder Woman in the DC animated universe and the animated Wonder Woman movie. Um, but like also like the Injustice games pull from the Perez run, especially visually, like yeah. But outside of that, like Yeah, no one really does anything with Wonder Woman's um her like rogues gallery or like anything. So and also just Wonder Woman's not a character that like DC really capitalizes on in pop culture. That's why I'm excited for the Wonder Woman game coming out. Um, I think that's gonna start uh, getting people like more invested in that character. I mean, hopefully. Um, and if they do pull from anything, I really hope to God they pull from uh, the new 52 run by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chang and Tony Atkins. Um, yeah, I really hope they do that because that's like my favorite modern Wonder Woman run. It's like one of my favorite modern superhero comics. Really good. Um, Arcus says about Single Woman. All right, let's go for it. Let's go for it. I don't like Emma Frost without Cyclops. She's kind of boring as the strong, independent woman who has nothing to her. I liked when she had a real weakness of her loving a man. I agree. Um, I think I think Emma was at her best when she was like vulnerable when she was around the X-Men because like that's when like the whole femme fatale kind of facade dropped and she was put in a position where she had to like be vulnerable with her teammates and with the children, but also Scott like it started off as this thing of like, oh, I'm gonna seduce this married man, but then like she actually like fell in love with the guy. No, dude, I'm with you. I love that stuff. Uh, that's why like modern Emma Frost just doesn't it doesn't do it for me. Um, I don't know. I feel you. Um, Josiah says, I guess contemporary in general is way too tough. All right, so contemporary writers that are like overhyped. I guess Tom King. Again, I love Tom King, but like I guess you could say Tom King is one of those guys who's like overhyped and overrated. Um, I can see someone making a case for Scott Snyder being overrated. Um, Again, that's me. I like Scott Snyder, but like I totally see someone like reading his stuff and going like, this isn't all that great. I get it. Um, in fact, I am that guy sometimes. So, uh, let's see. Hmm. Mark Miller, I can see someone making a case for him being overrated. Um, that's like one of my favorite writers of all time. But like, there are Mark Miller books that I have recommended to people, and they just don't get it. And I think a lot of that just might have to do with the fact that I grew up reading Mark Miller comics and I loved Mark Miller as a kid. So like handing Mark Miller to like someone as an adult, they're probably like, "What is this?" Mm. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think those guys you can make a case for them being overrated. Um, but I don't know. I still like those guys a lot. But if someone said they were overrated, I get it. Um, you just wanted to hurt my feelings with that question. But it's okay. It's okay. You know what? I'd also put Stan Lee on that list. I mean, he's not a contemporary writer, but like Stan Lee is also one of those guys who's kind of overrated. And like rightfully so, I think you can say that Stan Lee's overrated because he didn't actually write anything. But that's getting into a whole other can of worms. Um, Arcus says, Beanie, to be fair, black writers write white people stereotypical. Also, the same Japanese with non-Japanese characters. Same with Russians about Americans. It's just life. It's okay. I mean, I feel you. It's just funny. Yeah. I'm not saying I hate it. Maybe that means I'm part of the problem, but I think it's funny. Supreme says, unpopular writers. I don't like Tom King. Not a fan of his Nightwing run, to be honest. Same here. I think Tom Taylor's one of those guys who excels at out of continuity stories. Supreme says, also in Wonder Woman, I feel she hit hardest by the comics code because DC toned down the William Marston work because the moral higher-ups felt or they feared potential lesbians in the young girl audience. Well, I mean, they'd be rolling in their graves by the time we got to like the 21st century. There are no guys. There are no girls. Just wankers. Just wankers. William Marston would shit his pants if he watched Trainspotting. Holy crap. Sigmund Freud would just like laugh and like probably drop his pants and start jerking off. But like, you know, 21st century would just freak out a whole crew of conservative psychologists from like the early to mid 20th century. Although the ones who weren't afraid are like also like pedophiles. It's just throwing that out there. It's like pedophiles and drug addicts. It's that makes up a lot of psychologists and philosophers though of that era. Like Foucault or in Deleuze. That's a whole rabbit hole. Arcus says, idea for a young Superman. Jimmy Olsen should be a moderator in Lois and Clark's relationship. These two arguing and hating each other while Jimmy, being a wise man, knows that they're just thirsty for each other. I am with that 100%. I am so here for the enemies to lovers like character arc. I am so for that. I think you could do something really interesting with Lois and Clark that just hate each other. They cannot stand each other, but you leave them locked in a room for like more than 20 minutes and it's on. It's on. It's on. I'm with it, especially for those two. I think that'd be hilarious. Supreme says, also on 90s Batman, I really feel like Bruce should have stopped being broody after No Man's Land in his debut of Cass. I feel No Man's Land was supposed to be the end of Grim Batman. Well, I think it was too. The problem is just Grim Batman sold too well. And it was just very popular. Also, the animated series is like big at the time. Like with the DC animated universe and all that. So just, you gotta keep Batman grim because it works over here and all these other mediums that are selling very well. So also, there might have been a fear at the time of, well, if you have Batman smile, people might think of Batman and Robin, which is that movie that everyone universally hates right now. Whoa, don't do that. So I can see that kind of being the reason for why Batman kind of got stuck in being a sourpuss for like an extended period of time after No Man's Land. But yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that Morrison kind of like did that whole like Buddhist Dogal ritual with Batman and just kind of brought him out of that and just said, it was midlife crisis. That's all the entire like late 80s up to the mid 2000s was. It's just a midlife crisis. It's fine. I'm Batman again. Speaking of Batman, I am actually going to get to work on that video that I talked to you guys about at the head of the stream. So I will see you guys later. Once again, Supreme says, and I love No Man's Land. It's O'Neill's finest achievement as an editor. I've read bits and pieces of No Man's Land. I have to just finally sit down and read all that material. Oh, no, it's all good. But yeah, I'm gonna like sit down and like read all that material like in the near future. I just have to stop being lazy, and stop skipping around to the issues that I actually like with characters that I love. Yeah, no. On that note, talking about Batman, I'm gonna call it a night and get to work on the Batman video that I have in my head, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for coming by, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week on Wednesday. Not Thursday, but seriously, Wednesday this time at 10:30, like I did yesterday, when none of y'all showed. I'm kidding. But like, still, like, yeah, I'll be there. Wednesday at 10:30. All right, see you guys. Hasta la pasta.